And welcome to the show, everybody. All new Ouchcast. With us today is Enrique.
Always here. What are you talking about? I'm here always.
Yeah, but I usually ignore you.
That's true.
So now that I see you, it's like, oh, he's here. There we go. And then joining us is Mark.
Here we are again.
My buddy Mark,
Absolutely.
one of my oldest friends.
So just to
But I really don't like him, but I pretend I do. Hey, Mark.
well, just to
And
pull
you
the
have
curtain
nobody else to
back.
show up, so here I am.
Yeah.
And he's not wearing the sunglasses. I'm about to say, just to pull the curtain. He's all being vain over here
I'm
talking
very
about sunglasses.
vain,
And
now that we're on video, I'm very...
where's the glasses?
I should put them on. You're right.
Okay.
All right, let's get
So
them on.
You gotta. I mean, because we're here in sunny Commerce.
It's so sunny out, he has to put his glasses
I
on.
have to put
Yeah.
my glasses on.
Not like it's 11 o'clock at night or anything.
It's not like it's 11:06 at
Just make
night.
it look-
11:06 at night.
Make me look cool.
So just for a little
Which I'm not.
fun stories, just so the Angel can get cathartic. We all of the circumstances worked against us to record this, and here we are on outside the most makeshift stage that we've created out of nothing. So kudos to you, Angel. Kudos.
Bear
to
with us. The sound is shitty. Oh, sorry, beep. It's terrible as hell. That you can hear airplanes and stuff going by, but it is what it is.
I think it's the best set you guys got so far.
I
You're
agree.
just saying that because you're here.
Yes.
You know what? No, let's be honest. Our chintzy set back at my classroom is terrible.
I love that
Stress.
classroom though.
Yeah, because we build it there.
We built this city. Anyway, so Mark,
Yes, Mark.
Yes, sir.
this is your third time here.
Yep.
Long time listener, third time guest star, huh?
Absolutely, yes. Long time listener. I've been listening to you guys. Well, no, I haven't been listening from the beginning, but I did go back and listen to all the episodes from the
Nice.
beginning.
So he's the listener.
I'm the one listening.
He's the one
He's the one messing with our metrics
Yeah.
and our expectations and
Yeah.
false hopes.
I'm the one
We
you
got a
see-
listener. Oh wait, it's Mark.
Yeah, I'm the one you guys see listening from Ukraine too, because I use VPN. And
then I should stop
and
calling you
here I
Habibi.
thought,
then.
I thought you were Volodymyr, man. Come on, I was so excited.
Dude, I was like, dude, we got some goat herders out
I
there.
built
I was like,
a fantasy around it. My thought, I was like, there's some guy out in the trenches. They're using the drones to bomb on the Koreans and the Russians outside. The North Koreans. Let me clarify that.
Ducker.
And yet it's
was me.
it's Mark.
It was Mark. Never mind.
Damn.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah,
Bakersfield
wah.
in the house.
Wah, wah.
So, Mark, what have you been up to since the last time we saw you?
not much, but
Okay, good times. Thank you, everybody. No.
It's a great show,
No, a
guys.
lot of
Okay, let's go.
a lot of tax work. I don't know. We probably didn't mention it last time, but I am an accountant, a tax accountant, cost accountant as well. So a lot of work right now. You caught me in a busy season,
Yeah.
but still glad to be here.
Nice.
I have
nice.
a question about taxes.
Yeah.
Then I mean, with the current administration and all the talks of, cutting back the IRS and everything, what is the feel on the ground level about right now taxes?
It's hard to say, and it's funny that we bring up taxes, the most boring subject on earth. But
It's exciting when we get our returns, though. It's the most exciting topic on earth when you get that return.
You get
Yeah.
returns?
I get returns. I'm a teacher. I get to itemize my pencils and my pens and my markers, and our studio set. So
Nice.
it is so difficult to actually know where the economy is going. To be honest with you guys, we just don't know where everything's going, taxes included. Right now, whatever today is, stocks tanked today again. Right,
That's what I heard. Yeah.
So the economy's down, but not too bad. It's actually at a point where it's reasonable. It's called a correction. It's a reasonable correction in the stock market. And we do expect it to bounce up. And if anybody out there does day trading, you guys know what I'm talking about, or swing trading. It's actually a very exciting time.
I'm not a swinger.
That's what she said.
You sure, man? You're talking about your sweaty balls earlier and putting them on the bed.
I was just trying to please you.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, swinging something, man.
But if we do see more downturn in these next few days, we can look at potential recession, potential downturn, real downturn in the economy.
I mean, let's be honest though. The whole thing about the economy is the thing that everyone says, but then they sort of scale back, is that a lot of it is like smoke and mirrors. It always has been. It's about building expectations. Yes, there is some real backing in the long run, but in the short term, people are reactionary, and so. Right now, there's just so much instability and so much uncertainty, and the news cycle, there's no way to hold on to any news cycle because it changes on the drop of of a dime. Like there is no consumer confidence, and it really is trickling down to the most base people. Like me as a teacher, like usually I can watch like the news and be mad about stuff, but at the same time I have a safe distance from it. But I'm starting to see a lot of the changes actually coming to my doorstep, and I think a lot of Americans are feeling that too, in my opinion.
You know, that's a great question I can ask you guys, because in reality, right, we hear these words, all this news about the economy and it's doing fine, it's doing great, but in reality, like,
it's not.
You guys, exactly. We know the truth because
here's one thing that I'm always gonna point out, and I don't care if I'm wrong, but I feel I'm right. Okay, which I'm always wrong. I've always seen that on the news, the propaganda that the news sends out from the government is, oh yeah, in January we added 395,000 new jobs, but they never say if they make living wages, if they make enough for a living wage. They always say they add the jobs, but can they live off of it? No. And the government, let's get real. You have over, I don't know how many, I think it's like 40 billionaires that have given to the Trump campaign. Mm-hmm. They're not giving it for us. They're giving it to get. It's an investment for them to get the return. Mm. How are they going to get that? New laws that would help them and their corporations get money.
Yeah, I hate to get political here, especially since we're now videotaped, and I don't want it to come back to me.
He's talking
America number one.
I hate to get political here.
Yeah.
How many times have we said that? I don't want to get political, and then we proceed to get political.
You are a rude, terrible person.
Yes.
But with that being said, I fairly believe that every government that has stepped into the United States in the last few decades has not helped us one bit. They have damaged the economy over and over and over again. In reality,
privatized
a lot of things, and they're ripping us off. Yeah. So I'm on board with whether it's propaganda, it's whatever it is, but I'm on board with the government has been ripping us off for a long time.
Yeah, I agree with Ray Charles over there.
So, I mean, you know, it's easy to say that. I mean, I think it's more complicated than that. I think the metrics over history show that like there are times in which our economy does well, and there's times when it does bad. And here's the sad truth of it. For anybody who's really a fan of the current administration in any way, typically in the last 60 years, anytime there's been a Democratic administration, by and large, the economy is done relatively well. A lot of the reason why is regulation. A lot of the reason why is, where people pay, or I should say, a lot of governmental incentives, and so it helps. It helps because, you know, when you invest or put money back into the economy or into the people, that money gets to go back. But typically when Republicans get in power, their whole thing is to start scaling back things, and so the economy slows down.
Let me I think I've talked about this on the show before or not, because I really don't like talking religion or politics, but believe it or not, I was a registered Republican until Trump. I was a registered Republican.
Oh, friendship.
Why?
Over.
Hold on, let me explain why. I wasn't conservative. I was a very liberal Republican, but I noticed that, yes, you are correct. When Republicans are in power, they do tend to screw with the budgets, right? But as a businessman, there's more money in my pocket.
Yeah.
And at that times, I was one of the executives in a lot of corporations. So I was getting some of that bucket money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's kind of like, you know?
It is. It's
he has the Deutsche Bahn. Anyways,
at the end of the day, it's really, what do we get out of it, right? And I think most people vote on that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's in it for me?
Yeah.
I personally, I didn't vote for either Democrat or Republican. You
voted for Tom Likas.
I think so. Yes, Tom Likas, who I'm impersonating now. I don't even remember who I voted for. I think there was like 2 women independents who were running. I think I voted for them.
The first time around, yeah, I did. The second time around, I voted for Harris.
Oh, okay, right.
Harris Waltz. Not because I liked Harris, but I liked Waltz. So I was like, okay, you know, I see something there, you know. I would have liked Bernie to go, but he's just too liberal for anyone's liking.
I think you know, he's looking pretty good right now, though.
Oh, he's looking very good right now.
Him and AOC.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That'd be a great little Which one do you find more attractive, though?
Your mom. Yeah. I said
You
it.
sick mofo.
I did it.
we
went
were
there.
my family and I this morning. That's why
Yeah,
we were not
you-
able to do this.
Yeah.
We went to the Academy of Arts.
Yeah.
It's what's it called? Academy of Motion Pictures.
Yeah, the Academy of Motion Pictures.
That one. Don't. It's too much noise. Yeah, we went to it and we were going by Johnny's Diner.
Oh, can I take a moment just to say we got this down to a science here, people. This is beautiful. Like
No.
you cannot see it off camera, but our extension cord's actually it's actually the lamp of one of the hotel rooms. So we're working with the best here, guys. We're working with the best.
Money, money, money. Anyway, we were going by a diner by Johnny's Broilers, and they had a lot of graffiti on the things where they were saying like, down with Netflix and stuff like that. They had a bunch of movie stuff, and I was laughing because someone actually, made a menu that looked like an old '50s menu, and they put it up on the glass, and it was like vinyl and stuff, and it had the old Speedy from McDonald's in the corner, and it said Bernie's restaurant or something, like Bernie Sanders restaurant or something like that.
Okay.
And it was like basically they had like a recession-proof burger, free Medicare for all salad, and they had like a bunch of like menu options. I'm like, oh man, that's so good. I wish I would have taken a picture, but since I was driving and it's on the over Crenshaw and all that side of town, it's like it's chaos, But if you ever drive by, guys, Johnny's Broilers, the old one, it's by the 99 cents store. It's also dead. They have the beautiful graffiti, like it's a piece of art.
Is this where the Bob's Burgers at now in Downey or
No. This is on over there by the Peterson Automobile Museum and all that side of town.
They got rid of that though, didn't they? The automobile.
No, it's
museum?
there.
Is
It's
it?
there. It's there.
Oh man, okay, cool.
Yeah, we gotta go. I told my son we want to go because he's been wanting to go and I want to go. So,
All right.
So we'll go soon. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Hey, I can hear you perfectly up there. No. Yeah. Anyway,
You let it out, Angel. Let it out.
sorry, I'm just stressed out over this whole sound thing. Oh, it's okay. It'll be easy, said the one that doesn't do another editing. Anyway.
You know what? We appreciate you, nameless voice with the D sweater.
No,
I respect and
My
appreciate
son Isaac, as always.
With the D sweater.
Huh?
But you got the C on your sweater.
you. You know what? Oh,
got you
well
there.
done,
Yeah,
well
yeah,
done.
yeah.
C and D.
You've been like strengthening him with all your commentary. He's just coming back with the jokes.
He's been cackling the Gladys. Yeah.
Collect the power. Well done, son. Well done.
I pass it to thee.
All right, I'm bored.
So,
yeah, let's move.
Mark, what else have you been up to besides very fun taxes?
Fun taxes, fun day trading. Yes.
Faxes.
Taxes, day trading.
Have you been playing any music anymore?
I have been playing music.
Skin flute?
No skin flute.
Oh.
For me, as a matter of fact, I've been
Okay.
playing bass.
Low hanging.
How low can you go?
At church.
Oh.
I have actually now transitioned into a Christian musician.
He's a trans musician.
He transitioned. Hey, watch out! They're gonna delete you.
Delete.
Trump's about to delete you with your.
You are a rude, terrible person.
There he is. Yes. Yeah. We need to
So what-
switch that for whatever it was that he told Volodymyr, the dude from Ukraine,
Oh, yeah.
during that awesome speech.
No, I'm going to
reading.
replace it with, excuse me. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's all. But what church
Christian
are you going to now?
museum.
So
Christian musician.
I'm actually a non-denominational Christian.
Okay.
All right.
What does that mean?
For those who don't.
Okay. So Christianity in its more core essence means you believe in Christ or you follow Christ or you obey the principles of Christ. Okay. Unfortunately, we now have a lot of religions who take on the denominations because of different
Interpretations and stuff, yeah.
different viewpoints, different rules, different policies.
Mhm.
That is more or less what people call religion, right? So unfortunately, there are a lot of religions out there who can and are criticized here and there, right? Probably for right reasons and some for not. But in essence, anybody who believes in Christ and follows Christ is a Christian,
Yeah.
right? And that's probably the better way to do it. Now, I am fairly new at a church, an actual church building which I'm attending, which is part of a denomination called Pentecost, Apostolic Pentecost Church.
That's a handful.
Yeah. This kind of church, though, encapsulates two things. Pentecost, meaning they adapt the Pentecost event in the Bible, which is when the new believers were able to invoke the Holy Spirit, speak in tongues, and so forth, Okay? And so there's a lot of singing, dancing, speaking in tongues. It's very lively kind of
Who did we
event.
talk to that was talking about speaking in tongues? Was it you and me? We talked to somebody, no?
Doyle? Maybe he mentioned it.
Doyle mentioned it. That's what it
I'm
was.
sorry. You just told you that was very intense. There, you gave
I'm
me
sorry.
talking about speaking in tongues, and I felt very nervous for a second.
You
I
just
had
wanted to
no
picture my tongue in your mouth. That's all.
I didn't know what was going to happen. I need an adult here. Yeah, you need to just stay over there.
Oh,
I'm about to know on you, my guy.
Yeah. I think Doyle.
I think I
did
heard him
something
mention
similar
it
like that. No.
I don't know if he is part of the denominations, but I think he mentioned something about it. And then the apostolic side of this type of church that I go to basically has more of a fundamental viewpoint on the Christianity, which takes it back to the apostles, the actual apostles of Christ, right?
Okay.
And so the way they follow church, the church structure, is the way this church follows it. Very fundamental, very modest people, very traditional, some would say, and I like it.
It works for you, right?
Well,
yeah.
Now, full disclosure, Enrique, what religion are you?
I'm not. So I mean, I guess ideally I would have been a Catholic. I was never baptized though, but my brothers were. My sister was. For some reason, I wasn't. Which is fine. I would call myself an atheist, except that I mean, there's a bit of spirituality I believe in. Now, my sister's full on born again Christian. Her and her husband, Eric, who passed away a few years ago. I mean, they were part of a Pentecostal religion, our church. That it was an offshoot off of a major church they were part of. But there was a lot of scandals there. They felt like the church was too much embroiled in like drama. That they basically went off, rented this little office space at this strip mall, and they continued their studies there. But hearing you talk about the different denominations and how the branches of different Christianity happens, I know, like, back in my younger days I was very interested in religion as a whole, and reading about how like we went from the Roman Catholic Church into like into the Protestant religion, and then from there like the Church of England, and all of the different little branches that happened. Some of them were for political reasons, some of them was because of difference of philosophies based on the books that were available, interpretations, and just some were just because people wanted to get divorces, and so they would change the religion in order to facilitate that. So interesting story. But because of that is the reason why I have a lot of trouble investing myself in religions. And I remember Doyle in one of the podcasts we have specifically said that aspect of religion is what kind of pulled him away from that part, and that he himself was just trying to practice like the principles of Christ. Now, I'm not even in that spot myself, but I respect it.
I think a lot of people have that trouble. It is the religion kind of gets in the way, unfortunately.
Okay.
So we have a lot of people who consider themselves like spiritual, right? And some people who just know there is a God, right? And just say, I know there's a God. And then there's other people who are Christian followers because they understand the principles of Christ. But here's the problem, the main problem, okay? Many Christians and non-Christians as well, of course, have never actually read the teachings of Christ. And so if you've never read the actual teachings of Christ,
by the way, it shows.
it's difficult to, one, follow it, and two, criticize it.
Yeah.
Right? And so, unfortunately, a lot of people take the shortcut. They go to church.
And they watch YouTube videos.
And they watch YouTube churches, which is fine. But they just follow what's being said there without actually reading the content. And so, unfortunately, what happens? We have an example of politics. Politics pulls you one way or another, however they want it, wherever they
Evangelicals.
want it.
I'm looking at you, kid.
And so some evangelicals or some religious leaders, they'll give a good message, but they don't give the full message. And so you get a lot of Christians who believe in one thing but don't hear the other side of the story. So I'll give you an example. Christ is love. That is true. It is in the Bible. He is the truth.
Really? Even with the 1970s porn music for
Oh, my
Christ
God.
is love.
Well, I mean, what's it gonna do? Okay, continue. I'm
you know,
sorry.
we're out in the open, right over some clouds.
Smite me, oh Lord.
I'm right next to you. I don't want any collateral damage.
Come on, smite me.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So, as I was saying,
Yes, sir. Continue.
so some people follow that, and that's fine, right? To say God is love, Christ is love.
Okay.
That's fine. However, he is also a judge. Okay, he judges sin.
Like
Speaking
Judge
Bible
Judy?
talk. No, not like bigger. better.
Oh,
Like Judge Judy.
I'm just saying.
You are on a roll, sir.
Sorry.
You just keep on rolling.
Okay, sorry.
I see how you feel now.
Right? You know, but
Oh, you,
Oh my god. Okay.
Continue.
So, we have to hear both sides. We have to hear each side as a Christian myself, okay? And so I say this to any other Christians and so other people who are learning about Christianity.
Mhm.
You have to hear the whole story, or better yet, read the whole story. Okay, the whole story is this. Okay, the whole story is that we as men, as people, as human beings, we are of a sinful nature. We're egotistical, we're greedy, we, selfish, all that stuff. Okay, we're all
we look like Enrique. Yeah, go on.
exactly.
hey, that's not a bad thing.
And so with that in mind, all right, with that in mind, we're going to cause havoc on our own. Look at our society today. It's just by nature we do this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. However, God does love us, okay? So he does protect us. He does watch over us. We're not falling dead for every sin we do, right? So he is there for us. But if we as people want to change, if we want to become better, become our better selves, if we want to do actual good in the world, we can't do it on our own. We're never going to do it because we're always going to be selfish and think of ourselves, all right?
Yeah.
So we need some kind of guidance,
Mhm.
okay? But we can't get that guidance if we can't accept our faults, our wrongdoings.
Right.
Okay.
And that is what what Christians believe as being repentance. So to become a Christian, you have to absolutely repent. And so repent means not just say, I'm sorry, I recognize I did that wrong thing. It means actually giving a about face. And you guys know about face. We were all in marching band.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, repent
I was
literally
a drum
goes
line.
back.
It's a completely different group.
No, you were part
I
of
was
the
a
band.
drum line.
He was drumline. It doesn't count.
I
He
say
has
it
not
counts.
sinned as hard as us.
I was like,
We were definitely, yeah.
Us woodwinds, sinners.
So, yeah,
Drumline,
you guys-
a little above that.
you
We
guys
were
all
definitely
blew.
the nerdy.
Yeah,
the
we all blew-
nerdy
yeah, we were the nerds.
band.
Oh,
We were the
that's-
nerdy.
that's
You and me.
skippy.
Both.
Yeah,
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 we were the
woodwinds.
nerdiest, for sure.
We sucked on the reed.
But okay, so I mean, I'm hearing what you're saying in religion, and we're getting kind of in the weeds of it. So let's go a little higher. Let's go back
All right.
up. At least let's think of it like
Can
how
you
it applies.
take me higher? Sorry.
And like how it goes right now is this. The reason I was interested in religion in terms of politics right now is not any specific politicians or anything, but this idea that for the longest time I remember, like growing up, I turned 18 when Bill Clinton was like popular, so you can age me then.
Would you like a cigar?
And I remember like all the memes before there were memes, but all the talk of like the Antichrist and how many times they talked about the New World Order, and they talked about, and I found that it was so easy to use religion to propagate those ideas, because religion by itself is, as I understand it, religion was created in order to, it's two ways to look at it. If religion is real, if God is real, then it was divinely made, and therefore it was a way for men to know themselves and know path to God. Okay, fair enough. But if you're an atheist, then you see it more like from a cynical perspective, or not even cynical. You see it as it was created in order to instill morals and values in the society, in the society that more often than not, our base instincts are not about being moral and civilized. And so it was a way to create order out of chaos. That's the atheist perspective to some degree. Maybe I'm simplifying it. Anyways, so right now, people are misusing that implied control that comes from religion in order to sway people through fear and through manipulation into voting against their best interest, against their better interest, which is exactly what we've seen. So for the longest time, this idea of the Antichrist. You remember the Bill Clinton Antichrist and Obama the Antichrist.
And then Biden, Sleepy Joe.
And because
Trump now.
and you would see all of the different bullet points and stuff, and you see there's the Antichrist. And,
See, but they're all wrong because the real Antichrist is Elmo from Sesame Street.
oh, have you seen the
Yeah,
burning
hell's-
flames?
Yeah, I got it. Dude. Elmo, I'm on to you, man.
So one of the popular book series that came out around the late 90s, early 2000s was the Left Behind series. The Left Behind series
I remember those.
was really like a populist book about like the end times, and all of it was to some degree was you can see like it was populated by the idea because Democrats are like ushering in the Antichrist. Well, now it's funny that
They took a job.
there's like all of these like memes now about like our current president, where like it's uncanny how much the stuff that he does really fits into this concept of the Antichrist. Again, I don't believe that there's an Antichrist, but let me just put that out there. But I think it's funny how that is the case, but now everyone's ignoring it. Again, my main thing about religion is how people use it for control. It scares the crap out of me.
Yeah, it's true.
It has
That's where
been
I'm
used
at.
like that forever, and that's the whole state religion correlation, or what they want to put it together or put it apart or whatever, that whole debate.
Right.
But it's always been used for that sense, unfortunately. But we take that separately from what is Christianity, in my mind.
Okay.
That using it for power, using it for money, using it for propaganda is a thing on its own. But true Christianity
But
has
it's the most
nothing to do with
popular
that.
one as well. That's the issue. It's the most popular
Well,
one.
Trump even used it, right?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
he's still using it.
using
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
still using it.
one of
I
the
was
scariest
saved by
things.
God.
Okay, so there's this popular right-wing host. His name's Ben Shapiro. I bring him up often. I went through the whole kind of like red pill phase, not because I believed it, because I was trying to kind of understand where my politics
He
lie.
believed it.
Right after, shut up.
Show him your Trump tattoo.
It's right there between my legs. You want to take a closer
It
look
just,
at it?
it's looking down. It's going fake news. It's really weird. I don't know why.
You know what? That is a very cool. I want that tattoo. I want that.
Me too.
I want that tattoo right there, and I wanted to say fake news. That's
Me too.
great.
That's gonna.
Yeah, I want
fake news.
Marjorie Taylor Greene on one thigh and Mark Rubio on the other. And I mean, hell yeah, dude, I'm about to get tatted up.
Elon Musk jumping up in the air.
Oh, dude, Elon Musk. I'm gonna put him right on my ass crack, dude. And
on your
his-
on your geek.
yeah. Fuck man. Okay, and sorry, excuse my language, guys. Okay, so I totally lost my train of thought. Thanks, Angel. You did it again.
Thank you. I'm here all day.
Well done. Hold on. Let's just pick a button. Oh, it didn't work.
No,
Yeah.
like this.
There it is. See, we don't have to laugh at our own jokes. We got somebody to do it for us. All right. So, anyways, I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. That's okay. I probably wasn't going anywhere with anything anyways.
I think I did too.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. Now, full disclosure, like I said, I'm not religious. I'm not an atheist. The closest that I can describe myself is agnostic.
Yeah, but you're so beautiful.
No matter
us.
what they say.
So explain to us, what do you consider an agnostic?
Well, see, that's the thing. That's the best definition that I can find, and it's not even a correct one. I'm not even using it properly, but that's the best way that I can explain it. Which means, in my point of view, babe, you know what I'm talking about. My opinion is that an agnostic, in my eyes, or my way of being an agnostic is, I believe in a God, I believe in a devil, I believe in spirituality of one sense. I just don't believe in organized religion.
You're a deist. It's with a
I got your
D-E-I-S-T.
I got your deist.
A deist is person. If I remember correctly, a deist is somebody who believes in God, who believes in like the tenets of like the spiritual
Spirituality.
world,
Yeah.
but doesn't like follow any organized religion.
Yeah.
For the reasons we just talked about.
I guess I've never heard of that term, but there you go.
either.
Bob's your uncle.
Bob
that's-
is my uncle, and he's a really nice guy.
Good to know.
I'll introduce you to him. Just don't let him, get near your.
Bob's my uncle.
Yeah, don't let him get near your bin.
Don't remember Bob, my uncle.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, no, but yeah. So for me, religion has always been an issue. I was baptized Catholic, but that's the extent of it.
Hey, sorry, if a Catholic priest touches you and then you that's not being baptized. That doesn't count.
And then I take it back. I don't know what that was. Father Patrick, we need to talk.
Father Patrick.
This is yours. Anyway.
A los siglos y a los siglos.
No me que patio. Anyway, no,
You know what? Well, sir, I'm going to shake your hand. Well done. Well done. Well done.
sorry, it's that 11 o'clock lull that I have going on at
Oh,
delirium.
man. You know what? It's because we're right next to that sin place.
The casino?
right
No, not
next
just
door.
that. It's these heaters are so freaking hot.
Yeah, that's true.
Some of that, I'm going to go gamble after this. I'm feeling lucky.
I'm not.
Lucky.
But what was I going to say? Lost my train of thought.
Oh, did I lie?
You were talking about how
Anyways.
like a priest touched you and you got baptized. So
No,
there you go.
my family's always fighting with me. Well, in the beginning when I started my family, my immediate family, my mother, my sister, who are full on Catholic, and my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law, who are Catholic, kept on complaining to us like we should baptize Isaac as Catholic. Now my wife is atheist, 100% atheist, does not believe at all.
All right.
Although sometimes she does, like for a split second, then she's like, no, never mind. And I'm, like I said, agnostic, but I guess the term is...
Well, okay, so the interesting thing, I looked it up. I mean, when I was in high school, I remember looking this up in a dictionary. So that for the longest time I believed it, but I'm not far off. But here's what it says. It says that a deist is someone who believes in a creator God who set the universe in motion, but does not intervene in its affairs, relying on reason and natural laws rather than religious revelation or supernatural events. So
Yeah, that's not
a
me.
notable deist would be somebody like Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, and Thomas Paine. These are like all our forefathers of this country, which I think is interesting.
I'm
like
not
Thomas
a forefather of
Paine.
nobody.
Thomas Paine is like he was one of the philosophers that his ideas were what outlined our Constitution, Bill of Rights. So interesting. I actually still found out something new.
Interesting. I didn't know that. But as I was saying, yeah, I always considered myself that, and I always had a problem because they wanted me to baptize them as Catholic, but I'm not Catholic. So how is that? Why should I do that? And why? That's one thing that always bugged me when someone pushes their ideals onto you, someone pushes their religion, which is happening now in this country,
Yeah.
where Christianity is the way. It's like, how do you know? Why am I have to follow you just because you say so? You know what I mean? And that's another issue that I've always had with most religions, not all, because I've met some, and like my interaction with certain religions, for instance Mormons, although they get a bad rap, I've had great interactions with Mormons. I've had good interactions with Buddhists. I've had some good interactions with Jewish people too. You know, like I don't really get, but when it comes to like, I think the worst that I've interactions are with Christians, usually born again Christians, and Catholics, because they either get guilted into, oh, that's a sin. Everything's a sin. You know, everything's a sin, and it's like, no, dude, come on.
It is.
Bro, come on.
I would defend the Christian faith, though. It is not about forcing anybody to do anything. As a matter of fact, you cannot be a Christian if you're forced into it. It has to be your own free will that chooses it. Otherwise, it's a false Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that exists. Exactly what you said, right?
And
Parents
a
force
lot-
us to go to church.
Yeah.
And so now when we're young, when we're kids, okay, that's one thing. But like you said, as an adult, to want to force to baptize your child. Now, there's fair belief behind that. Your parents weren't doing it, if it was your family or whoever family, they didn't have a bad intention behind it, right?
No, they didn't.
The belief is that the baby will be basically saved from hell if they were to die within the next early periods of life. So obviously, they
Isaac,
have
you're screwed.
no, he's
Sorry.
safe now because he's past the baby phase. But
Are you sure? Look at his face. He's looking kind of babyish to me right now. I mean, let's be honest. I
That's
mean,
past his bedtime.
but I'm gonna take this time to preach a little bit. So
Okay.
what I was
hey,
saying earlier.
wear that D proud, my guy.
No, I'm gonna say this because we have a youngster here amongst us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he needs to hear this, and we all need to hear this, because what I was saying earlier was, hey, we need to get to a point. We don't have to, right? But a person should be able to come to a point to realize, well, you know what? Maybe, okay, if you have the conviction, maybe I am screwing up. Maybe I am doing something wrong. All right, maybe I am being a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Okay, that's fine. But when you want to make a change in life, you don't just say, you know what? I'm just tired. I'm just gonna, change it up or something like that.
Yeah.
at least with Christianity, the belief is this: if we want to actually change and change our ways and change our mindset, we can't do it on our own. So we come to that repentance, which I left off on previously. We come to a point where we take that about face and we say, you know what, that not only is wrong, I'm going to turn away from that, and I'm going to turn towards this. All right, and so we do that in recognition that God is going to help us get through that, because now He is what's considered our Savior. Okay, the one who's going to take us from this place of death or this place of evil, right, and put us on a path of righteousness. And we can't do it on our own because we've never been able to do it on our own. And that we'll be able to have somebody, a helper, the Holy Spirit, to guide us there. Somebody who has dedicated their life or given their life to God, to Christ. That is in essence the belief. Nothing more, nothing less. It is basically that we found somebody who's going to save us from our corrupt self. He's going to guide us and help us get there and give us eternal life. Okay, so a youngster, right, finds themselves out there, and especially because the Catholic faith, I grew up Catholic too, the belief was that we get baptized and then we're saved. But then there comes the First Communion, which you guys are kind of familiar with, the whole First Communion, right?
Don't get me started.
So then we have those rites of passage, so to speak, in the Catholic Church. Okay.
The sacraments, I think, is what
The
you're referring to.
Exactly, the
yeah.
sacraments. Okay. They have good intentions. Unfortunately, they're not applied how they should be.
No.
Well, they're tied completely to old rituals that were Jewish in nature, like the idea, like the baptizing stuff. Some of it was actually founded around the time of Christ, if you believe the traditions. But you can find hints of it back in older, like Jewish and also pagan religions, believe it or not. So it's the reason. Again, earlier we talked about like the different branches of religion. Well, that's how it begins. It begins with incorporating sort of a tradition into it, and then retrofitting it so that people believe it was Christian all along. I mean, we can say that about Christmas. You know, everyone says Christmas is when Jesus was born, but you find a tradition that goes all the way back to Gilgamesh.
Wait, it's not about consumerism?
Well, that's the spirit of giving your
I'll give
money
you something.
to your money to whoever corporate god wants it. But okay, so the thing is that you have a tradition all the way back to Gilgamesh of like, you know, Christmas being around the time of the equinox, the equinox.
The equinox, yes.
And so and all of that is, and so it's hard to ignore that stuff, but people do it very easy. We live in cognitive dissonance all the time, and it's a beautiful story that religion does, and I'm not trying to be antagonistic, you know, to what you're saying, Marco, because I respect it. My sister is somebody who fully believes and she's like salt of the earth person, so I respect it. I just know, you know, that I've battered and battled and fought with these ideas for the longest time, and ultimately I know that I think ultimately I'm not. I don't subscribe to, you know, that those ideas. I feel like that there is salvation in ourselves. I feel that that we need to focus on ourselves. There's a humanistic perspective that we often forget because we're wanting to be saved by outside, you know, forces, because largely the world feels like all the problems are against us and they're outside, they're external. I mean, probably the reason why, like, from a horror perspective, I love cosmic horror, because there's this idea that when, you know, that the unknown features of the universe are like working against you, not deliberately, but just by the fact that they exist, and we're just a small speck in the face of it, you know, like this larger thing. And so that's where my mind goes all the time when I talk about this. And I kind of wish Doyle was here, because we would have this discussion. You know, funny story. I went to our podcast, our website, Ouchcast.com, and I saw, like, I was like, oh, look, there's Angel and there's me, and I was hoping to find like a picture of Doyle, because I'm like, hey, let's ask Doyle. You know, I was going to do that, but then I realized, Doyle, you don't exist on here anymore. Although we do have a part that says friends of the Ouchcast. Wouldn't it be funny if we put his face in there?
I'm gonna put
Doyle, you're a friend of Ouchcast.
I'm gonna put the one. No, well, he's a producer. He's a writer and he's a producer. But
I'm riffing. It's a joke.
He decided to take.
Put George there.
We'll put George.
Oh, and Lewis. We're gonna put him.
but we're gonna put George. We're gonna put George flat on there. like you can just see some of him like on there. It's a flat version of George. And then Lewis will just put him in the corner, like locked behind a door.
Bro, when you click on his link, it'll go to that one the YouTube video of the guy
who proves
who puts with the light.
With the light. we're right here, dude. We're right here.
Dude, this is great, right here, right there. That's great. Yeah,
totally doing that.
You're a friend.
Hi, George.
Friend of the Ouchcast, George.
But let's say you also described, by the way, when you're describing Jesus Christ, that's also Neo from Matrix. I was sitting there like, yeah, that
prophet,
sounds familiar.
The prophet George Carlin said, if you're gonna believe somebody, believe in George Pesci. He's always gonna be there. I'll pray to George Pesci.
I know kung fu. But whoa, Mina.
It's 69, dude.
Did you watch Bill and Ted's?
I love Bill and Ted.
Did you see the last one?
The third one?
The third
No,
one?
I didn't know that was the third one.
It is, and it's good, but you got to lower your expectations.
Yeah,
and that's okay.
It's not going to
Same
be
actors?
It's them. No,
Oh.
it
I
came
gotta
back.
check it out then.
It came
It
back
took
like
them
4 years ago,
years.
4 or 5 years ago. 4 years
It did,
ago?
but it took him years to put it together, and
I liked it. I liked
did
it
too.
I did, but
gotta check it
you
out.
gotta you do gotta lower your expectations. Lowered expectations.
you definitely do. But it's
It's good. It's good.
It's really good
I-
because it concludes
What's
the
it
way
called?
you expect
Bill
it
and
to
Ted
conclude.
behind the
Okay, don't
music,
give me any
or no?
more.
Bill and Ted behind the music, is it, or something music?
No, something beyond. It's something beyond.
Beyond the music, something like that.
I forget. It has some weird name, but it's a good movie. It's good, but just again lower expectations, because even
Fair enough.
because if you think about it, even the second one, like nostalgia wise, it's pretty good. But I remember being disappointed initially because I
me
wanted
too.
it to be like the first one.
What I really liked about the second one was the soundtrack. The soundtrack was amazing.
Yeah. Oh, remember when they go to hell and it's freaking Megadeth?
Megadeth, yeah. And then the Primus music, and then Bill and they also had Perfect Crime by Faith No More.
Oh yeah.
They had God Gave Rock and Roll to You Too. by
That was
Kiss.
a great ending song.
And yeah, it's a great song.
Well, see, and that's the thing. I mean, I don't want to give too much away in case you do watch it, but
Don't give much away. Yeah.
oh, are you not
I'm
like
gonna watch it.
Do you like? You would like? I have a
I
friend.
like to know nothing.
I have a friend, and when she goes to movies, like she really wants to know like zero, and I have failed a few times because I think that I thought I was pretty
like
good
that.
about talking movies, like being kind of roundabout, just so because when I get excited about something, Marcos, I feel like I have to justify why I'm excited by it, and I have to convince other people to be as excited about it. So I start giving details, and most of the time it's cool, but I have those friends that are purists, and
I'm purist. I don't
this
even
one-
watch
I'm a
trailers.
purist, yeah.
I don't watch trailers.
This one
I-
friend gets
I wanna see
so
nothing.
mad. Recently she went through this whole Twin Peaks phase where she was watching all of the first season, and she got to the second season, and right after that you watch Fire Walk with Me, the movie. I was trying to like tell her, I go, hey, just be prepared because there's a scene. There's a scene where like Laura Palmer, and spoiler, sorry guys if you haven't watched it, man, this is 25-year-old movie, so whatever. The Fire Walk with Me, bro.
Fire Walk with Me.
It's a movie. There's a scene in the movie where you'll know it if you know The Red Room, and you see Laura Palmer, and she does this blood curdling scream towards the camera, and at the time people were so confused by it, but it's so.
She saw a picture of Enrique naked.
I've gotten that happen before. I should have seen it all along.
Yeah.
It's not pretty, guys. I scream at it every morning just like her. But anyway, so she does this blood curdling scream that's it puts like makes the hair stand on your neck. Anyways, the point being is that I tried explaining that because I was trying to give a warning because this friend of mine, she has a lot of like issues with trauma and wants I want to help it out, but oh man, she got so mad. And so there's those people that just get so pissed, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how to deal with that. That's weird to me. Sorry about that, Marcos. I went on a long journey, but thank you. Let's go back to you. No spoilers.
Where do we leave off? I don't know. No,
I was about to tell you about Bill and Ted's, and you're like, don't tell me about it.
Yeah, don't tell me about it. I like to watch it. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Oh no.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, that's how that feels. By the power. No wonder you're always like so like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, having buttons in front of you like this is
Hello there.
that's powerful stuff.
I'm gonna change the subject if that's all right.
Huh?
As we're out here, because we're out in the open right now, and it's
Is that what that is?
Yeah, and it's nice. Are we in spring yet? No, we're not.
Yeah, we're in spring. We're
Okay,
officially
nice
second week of spring. He's on spring break.
You know what this reminds me of? And I'm going to take it way back. I want to take it way back for the listeners so they get to know you a little bit more. I know Enrique wasn't part of this yet.
Only in my
Do you remember
dreams.
when we used to walk out at night to the bowling alley? Did you ever join us on those?
Yeah, I think I did like once or twice on those.
Okay.
The bowling alley over in Downey on Florence.
That's the one.
That's
Still
the
there.
one.
Still
Yeah.
there.
Bell,
we-
right?
Huh?
Was it Real Hondo?
No, it's
The Hondo, what is it called?
Del Hondo, Del Rio. or
Del
something
Rio.
like
Del
that.
Rio.
Del
That's
Rio
the name of Del Rio. Yeah.
Because there's two of those. There's the one up in Downey, and then there's the one in HP on Gage.
Yeah, that's Gage
right.
Bowl-
both
Gage
of them are
Bowling.
still there.
We used to sneak out of the house. I think you were part of that too.
Yeah, I was part of the sneaker.
And
You
we
hear that?
sneak out around this time at night.
You
Right?
gotta love that. We're like right over a very popular, like LAX is.
Yeah, it's like we're on the flight path, so
Yeah.
just get used to it, people.
It's all good.
Peekaboo.
But go on. Sorry. So you were saying.
And
So
that's actually for Long Beach. That's the Long Beach.
Ah, so
Flight,
that's what
yeah,
I just
yeah,
played?
yeah, it's
Oh,
about to land
okay,
in Long
yeah.
Beach. So we used to
Good one.
when we were 13, we used to sneak out of the house about 11 at night to go to midnight bowling. So they had
Yeah.
midnight bowling, right? Turn on the lights. put
I
on
remember
the,
that.
the glow lights, all that stuff.
Yeah,
And
black light.
we used to walk over there. We had no car, right? We used to walk at night, and I remember the fresh air just like this. You know, just go out at night, no worries whatsoever back then, right? No worries whatsoever about getting kidnapped or whatnot.
At different times,
And
dude.
way different times.
Different times.
We used to go with like pennies in our pockets, somehow figure out how we're gonna pay for bowling.
I've got a better story that has to do with one of our little
well,
sneaker.
can we let him
All
finish
right.
his before your story comes in?
Go for it.
No, let me jog your memory first.
All
though.
right.
Remember when we tried to go find the car show?
The car hop.
Car hop, but it was a car show.
Yes.
And we did it our way, and we quote unquote borrowed the Tenuto 44.
We did borrow it.
Yeah.
Yes.
We rolled it out. We rolled it out.
So we used to basically borrow our parents' car by borrowing the keys, and
You would roll it out so then
my
you-
parents wouldn't wake up.
Yeah.
You'd roll it out.
We'd roll it out on neutral.
I did that one.
We did it many times.
Many times.
Hop in the car,
We would go
Crank
down to the alley, then turn around
then
in
turn
the alley.
on over there, head on over to bowling, head on over to Downey, look for the car hops, and then one time,
I told you the story already.
Yeah, I do remember
one
this.
time we
Yeah.
had to put gas in the
That's
vehicle.
the one.
All
That's
right?
the story.
So we had to put gas in the vehicle. Of course, we're all like 13, 12, 11. We don't know how old we were. We had no idea how we were going to put gas. All right. So we go to the pump, and so I don't know. I think we went in to pay. Somebody went in to pay. We come back. We go to the pump. We have no idea to lift the little metal thing, to click on the
Yeah,
whatever type you
pump,
want.
yeah, pump it and then press the button on
Yeah,
which one you
none
want.
of this stuff. So we're we're there trying to figure it out, right? Looking stupid. We're underage. You shouldn't be driving.
Oh,
so we didn't want to ask help. This is like midnight, right? 1, 2 in the morning. Nobody around.
We're 12 years old. Can you tell us how to like pump gas in this car, please? Because we have no idea.
I-
We had no idea.
I still remember the guy's face because there was, I think it was
Yes.
4 or 5 of us.
Yeah.
Were doing this.
Wow.
And we were
Wow.
all underage. And I think finally Angel's the one, your brother,
Probably,
was
yeah.
like, "Hey man, the pump's not working." So he went,
Pump's
and
not
then the guy
working.
comes out. It was a white guy. I still
Yeah,
remember with long,
yeah, uh-huh.
long white, blonde hair.
Yeah.
He comes out. He looks at the pump, looks at Marcos, looks at the pump, looks at me, looks at the pump again, and then just shakes his head and goes. It doesn't say a fucking word. It just goes
Yeah.
back into the.
Yeah,
guys-
we had no idea. You had to click
and
that
we're-
little metal thing.
And no, the funnier part of all of that is like everyone's like, dude, I don't know how to put gas. I don't know either. And
Yeah.
and they're like, hey, Fabio, do you know how to put gas? And I'm like, oh yeah, I know how to put gas. So I did all the steps except for that part because I did not remember that part. And then we were like, it's broken.
You remember in the movie Dazed and Confused?
Yeah.
Where like the young guy goes to the liquor store across the street from the pool,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
billiards
yeah,
place, and he's basically like trying to act like he's like I guess 18 at the time you could buy beer in
Yeah.
Texas, and but I mean this kid looks like he's like 12, 13, and but he walks up there with the swagger and the white guy with the glasses. He's talking to a pregnant lady, and he's like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, and this is going to help the baby. And all of a sudden she walks out and she's smoking, which I just thought was funny. Anyways, the young boy like talks to the guy and he acts like he goes, well, I just soon as have a little change in my pocket. You know, I figure trying to talk like he's an adult.
Yeah.
All the meanwhile, there's like old white guy with the glasses just looking at him, and then he goes, "Okay, here's your money." Like I'm thinking, that's you guys.
That was us. That was
That was
100% us, man.
Man, that's funny.
That was exactly. We were young.
We were
man.
young.
and I'm sure you guys looked your age.
And
There's
no,
way.
no, definitely. And then the funny part is like the thing, the way that outing happened was I remember telling them that my brother had taken me to a car hop on a Wednesday night or something like that.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, we should go. We
wanted to find it.
Yeah. So we went to spend the night, and me being I want to be cool and I knew what I was doing. I'm like, yeah, I know exactly where it's at. I had no idea where it was. It was actually the Frisco's in Downey that used to be on Woodruff.
What it was, yeah.
But I didn't know that.
None
And
of us
for
knew
us,
that.
remember,
None
for
of
us,
us knew
Downey
that
was
back
kind
then.
of far for us.
It seemed so
It seemed
far.
like going to
foreign.
like Disneyland.
It seemed
Same thing when
foreign.
you
It was
walk.
unknown.
Yeah.
We had no idea where we're at.
Yeah,
Whole new land. Whole new
so
world.
we were kept on looking, couldn't find it, and then we did find the restaurant, but it was closed because it was
Yeah.
like 1 a.m. But of course, us not knowing, what the
Yeah.
fuck. And then we were like, "Well, I guess it's gone. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I don't know.
It was such a bummer. It's like
Yeah,
we're looking for the treasure. We find it and it's empty.
Yeah,
right?
it was.
It's like-
It was such a letdown. And one night, Willie, goddamn it, it was bad. But you know what though? Looking back, I had a great time.
those were the best adventures, man. The best adventures.
Yeah,
Sorry.
And believe it or not, what is it like 30 years later, and I feel like we're doing it all over again.
yeah,
Out here, that's what I'm saying. I
yeah.
feel
yeah.
the atmosphere
on
out here.
your adventure,
Just
it
hanging
feels
out.
the same way.
And sometimes it's just
Just going
about
with the
that.
wind.
Just going with the wind, just hanging out and,
Yeah,
seeing what's going on, talking about what's going on. That's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
yeah.
And we used to walk around. We used to literally, sometimes before the vehicle, we used to walk, which
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe 2 miles or whatever it was. It seemed forever back then. And I remember we used to sing as we were walking, and we used to sing Up All Night, Sleep All Day from Slaughter.
Sleep all day, that's right.
Yes, that was our song.
And then
That deserves this.
That was not. Yeah, definitely,
That's a fail.
definitely a fail.
That's a fail, guys.
And then also, of course, your Def
was
Leppard,
hilarious.
your
Oh,
Def Leppard
hell
songs
no,
all the
we,
time.
we had to have Def Leppard in
Oh
there.
Yeah.
man, I love Def
Do you
Leppard.
want to
Def
get
Leppard.
right?
No,
Love bites.
Love, please. Yeah.
see, that's a great song, man.
No, Def Leppard is great, but for me,
they're the
whenever
best.
I hear Poison or Def Leppard, I think of him all the time.
Well, it brings me back to those
Skinny
days. I mean,
pop, pop,
those
pop.
songs were in, and we were jamming to those songs, and we were hanging out all summer. We were doing this kind of stuff, going to the bowling alley, stealing the car. I mean, borrowing the car.
Borrowing
Did
the
you ever
car.
get caught?
Filming?
We got
You
caught,
got caught, but later.
much later.
Yeah.
Much later.
I was already like
towards
moved
the end.
away and
Yeah,
stuff. And
much
he got
later.
caught.
And you guys even did it when you guys much later?
Yeah.
Oh man, how bad was that?
No, it actually wasn't bad. My parents are awesome parents.
Yeah, they are.
And
They really are,
They
dude.
are
I
amazing.
love your
Of
parents.
course, they wouldn't want us to be out there on our own, causing whatever we were causing,
But
just
you know
being
what?
in danger.
The thing is, we were rambunctious, but we were good kids.
I think we were good.
We didn't do drugs.
Nah.
We didn't do none of that crap.
Nah. We
were
wanted to have
just
fun.
We just had fun, and it was like just 1950s shenanigans.
That's
you know?
exactly what we're doing.
It was
It's true.
1950s shenanigans without the like, hey, you want to do some weed? You know what I mean? Like, it was never none of that. And, like we
No.
never did.
Hey,
we
never.
didn't. We
Hey
didn't.
kid, you want some candy?
You want some candy? We never did the underage drinking.
No,
we never did
we
none of
never
that.
did.
That was that
Right,
came in
yeah.
later.
I-
with another
I
group.
didn't
We didn't even. It wasn't even an interest. We were
No.
having so much fun, and I think that's the problem nowadays. Like, kids aren't out there having fun, just natural fun, hanging out, and they just go for what's easier.
So-
what's easier and faster.
Well, I'm going to tell you that I don't blame the kids as much as I blame the parents. We grew up with this idea that we're not going to be like our parents, and so we overcompensated. I think our generation overcompensated
I
so to the
agree.
point where we don't let our kids do much of anything.
So true.
We hold them
So
back.
true.
I see
Yeah.
it so much. As a teacher, I see it so much, and so we don't let them do as much as we did. Because I mean, think about it. When I was like in the second grade, third grade, I was already walking across town to my friend Sergio and Jason's house. This was at the time when the Night Stalker was out, like kidnapping
Yeah,
kids.
but don't you think? Sorry to interrupt.
No,
but
it's
don't you think there was like a false sense of safety back in those days
For sure.
compared to now?
I think-
because now we have the news that's always trying to scare tactic us
100%.
into being like, there's poison in milk. Find out, film it.
So,
like,
this is just my gut feeling on this. I have no metrics for it, but I feel like our population is, and you can see it in like how many cars are out in the street. Like if you go back to your old neighborhoods, they're so impacted with cars.
Yeah.
And so that tells me that we're just overpopulated, and that overpopulation does lead to more danger. So
It
I do
breeds
think
a lot
there
of
is
bad stuff. Yeah.
Well, I feel like more people means more chances for danger, and so there is a real like threat of danger. So that I think there is some reality there. However, I also think that the news cycle and how much access we have to that information, like I can tell you that every now and then I'll get this notification from like a neighborhood app that tells me about something bad happens, and I'm thinking, oh my god, something happened in my neighborhood, and I find out it was maybe like the city over, but for some reason I'm getting that
oh
notification.
no, I get notifications about like some crime going on. It's like Coyote Watch. Like, what do I care about a coyote? Like,
Exactly, but see, that's the thing. It's not just neighborhood watch that's doing it. It's not. It's like all of these different things. That,
oh, the other one, the neighborhood watch. You've gotten this one, haven't you? Where it's like, hey guys, I saw a suspicious van around 3:00 in my neighborhood, and just like watch out because it's all suspicious. How the hell is that a crime?
It's not. It's funny because when
Fake news.
more often than not, it's probably just like a delivery truck.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the thing is
A
though, is
Zillow
that
van.
we have like. Well, I mean, look at us. I mean, we're like two schmucks here, three if now because you're part of it, and
Thank you.
fourth one who's in training.
Schmuck in
Like,
training.
we're all schmucks here, like who happen to have created like a platform for us, and even if only like 5 of you are listening, we're part of the process, and
Thank
we're
you, 5.
also part of the problem because we think that we have something important to say. We don't, and yet that emboldens us to do that. But now spread that across the world, and that's exactly what's happening. Everyone with an opinion is being platformed in some way, and sometimes I don't think we deserve it, but hey, subscribe to Ouchcast.com, click down on the doobly-doo, like and subscribe, please.
I think you guys are
Buy our merch.
You guys
Okay.
are doing something good because what you guys are doing.
You don't even sell that.
Well,
Hey, we got merch.
Don't say that. It's true.
You,
but don't say that.
Mr. Disney over there.
Yeah. Show your D T-shirt or whatever.
You know
I
what?
know we should make some jerseys.
We
you know.
should.
Yeah, you
Jersey.
should. Those
Yeah.
are so cool.
Yeah.
That would be
You
so
saw that
cool.
one, right?
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it has the old logo back here.
Okay,
I love
but
it.
you know what? Kings, baby.
Kings.
Oh.
Yeah, Kings all the way.
Yes, sir. Go Kings, go.
Go Kings.
Sorry, you were saying.
I was saying, you guys are building something good here though because you
Thank
guys are
you.
building a community. And see what we're missing now. See what we had before. Like you were saying, there's a lot of cars on the street now, but back then there wasn't. We had a community. We knew what houses were what,
That's
who
true.
was where, who was what streets not to walk down. When we were younger, we used to walk to school, walk back to school. Never a problem. I never had a problem.
Never a problem.
We used to go to friends' houses across the city,
Yeah.
walk back. I used to walk at night.
Yeah.
No problem. Every time that we went out, did we ever run into anything?
No.
We
not that I
never
can think of.
did.
Never. I can't
know-
think of a moment that we had an issue.
We never had an issue.
Maybe, actually, I take that back. There was
Oh.
one time, the 76 by the corner of our house on Florence and
Yeah.
whatever that street was.
Garfield.
Remember there was that one creepy cashier who would always try to make small talk with us?
No, I don't remember that.
He was...
Maybe with you.
He was
Hey, I like your long
he
I
did-
don't remember that.
Well, I did have long hair and I had an earring, and he would like...
Come on, little boy.
Yeah, he's like, say, young man.
Can you do
I
it with
like
that
it,
whistle
yeah.
voice?
Yeah, I can't do the whistle. Say, young man. No, he was more like, hey, man.
By the way, have you seen that video? There's this. You guys, you know what we're referencing on? It's Family Guy. It's Herbert.
Herbert the
Doman.
Pervert?
Okay, so there's this video and there's where these it's a bunch of people running and jumping off like this like self-made bridge into this water, right? And it's a news report and they're like like, talking about the dangers of it, and all of a sudden the guy who owns it like talks
yeah, I've seen
just
it.
like him.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm just trying to help these young guys, because they have no money.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Have a good time, boss.
It's funny. It cracks me up. But the world
Yeah,
is
no,
ironic.
It was different times. Now, like you're right. It's
There's no sense of
overpopulation.
community
There's
anymore.
Yeah.
There's no sense of community. Everyone's out for themselves, and
I'm
everyone is just jaded,
I'm also gonna say this.
shaded, and faded.
And I'm gonna sound like a I'm gonna sound like a real old guy here, and I don't know if it's a generational thing. If every old guy starts saying it, because and I'm gonna sound like every other old guy before me.
Preach, Stevie Wonder.
But there is like no sense of morality anymore. No decency whatsoever in this world. I'm convinced. I haven't seen any.
I
of it.
kind of agree. I do agree because, yeah, dude, some of the stuff like the so-called
Way out
YouTube
there.
pranks, the just everything that's out there.
And there's no filters.
No
There's no
filters.
filters whatsoever on anything. It's insane.
So thank you for watching the Ouchcast.
So, okay, I mean, I think there is truth to it, except that I think that the principles have shifted. Right now, people's principles lie in. Well, let's talk purely from a social media perspective. It's fallen into wanting to do things for the sake of attention and for fame, and because we have access to these platforms. I mean, look how easy it is for us to put this Mickey Mouse thing together and then get on that platform. But then we realize all we want to do now is like be seen, so we will up the ante, and that's where the principles and the morals have to be stretched. And I use those words loosely in this context. So I agree with you.
And the last comment he made was loosely and stretch. And on that note, Mark, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This is wonderful. This is a great time. I love hanging out with you guys. Thank you for letting me preach a little bit. Thank you for just having me on. And I do want to say, keep up the good work, you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, make it happen.
Enrique,
Ouch.
you don't want to give our socials or anything?
I don't know them by memory, but you do it so beautifully.
Just go to ouchcast.com for all our socials, like and subscribe and all that jazz, and buy merch, because you know what? If you don't, I hate you. And remember, never make eye contact while eating a banana. Good night, everybody. Peace and fade to black.